apologize for being
Oh,
redundant.
the vehicle is only worth $2,800, and it's gonna cost.
And you're gonna cost $3,000?
No, we're not gonna repair it.
Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. I
Okay,
apologize.
I make a motion not to repair the vehicle.
A second motion.
Okay, it's motioned and seconded not to repair the vehicle. Discussion?
Just real quick, it might be good to take sealed bids on it. If you're gonna bring it back here, put it out for sealed bids. There may be somebody that has a wrecked car that has a good engine. Those are common cars, and they might be able to trade out. Relatively inexpensive. It's, otherwise, the car's in pretty good shape. It's not rusted out, nice color, and they don't even sell those cars anymore.
Are you interested in it?
Might be. I know somebody's a mechanic right next door to you.
Just do that no more.
Okay, any more discussion? What we do with it when it gets here is for another day. So the motion is to not repair the Ford Focus, but to return it to the association. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the Ford Focus will come back from the garage for the towing cost and sit there while we think about it. Okay, that's 4-0. Okay, now we have item 3, which is now item 5. Discussion decision, gym equipment, items.
That's me. You didn't know I was gonna run the whole meeting, right? Okay. Treadmill? Yeah. I think I read it when it works.
Oh, yeah. Next time we should replace all the batteries. Yeah, we'll remember that.
Okay, we've had several complaints about several treadmills in the fitness, in the gym. I had Fitness Master come out. They are the ones who had the contract for servicing the equipment in there to look at what was wrong with the treadmills that we had to sign on. We had a couple incidences where they were reported that people were on them and then it would stop in the middle and in essence throw them off. So we shut them down, had Fitness Master come out. Unfortunately, it was noted that there are 2 treadmills in particular that are very old. They are 12 years old actually at this point in time, with excessive miles on it. And so he gave us 2 options. The option is to turn the speed way down to where people can only walk on it from 3 to 5 miles per hour, or to replace some parts on them. So we have a repair for 2 CS6.0 treadmills. This is another one that's a little bit expensive, but for the 2 drive belts, the walking belts, the labor that's included, it says both treadmills have worn out decks and belts. The decks can be flipped, but the belts need to be replaced. Fitness Master recommends replacing the drive belt at the same time to not incur additional cost, and they also recommend plugging all treadmills into separate circuits to make sure that they're getting enough power. Okay, so that's a separate issue for you to look up. But the cost to do this repair is $1,243.79. And no, I didn't get any additional bids because we have a contract with them for service.
How many, do we know how many times this is broke down? These 2, if they're 12-year-old treadmills.
What all I've seen reported is 6 different times in the last 3 months
6 times in 3 months.
that they have been noted and shut down,
But not repaired.
not repaired.
So what happened? They were noted and shut down, and then what?
I wasn't here.
Allowed to come back again and use it?
I don't know.
All right, do you need a motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion to get the treadmills repaired.
A second.
Okay, motioned and seconded to agree to this quote for the repair of the treadmills. Any discussion? No?
How much for a new one?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, they're about $5,600.
What's the typical lifespan of a treadmill, do we know?
He was saying that most of them get 10 to 12 years. It just depends. He was saying that those look like people typically run on them a lot. So there's a difference in the use for someone who walks versus someone who may be sprinting, running on them.
Can we put up signs that says walking on?
You can, but you gotta turn the speed down.
So maybe we should just repair them this time and then maybe think about putting it in the budget.
You're talking about two of them, so it's 600 each,
Yeah.
as opposed to spending 5,000 each.
Well, yeah, but I said, we'll try to repair them this time, but maybe looking to replacing them down the road if they keep breaking down.
Well, maybe if they've not been repaired, if they are repaired this time, that'll give them some more life.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, you ready for the question? We are going to approve this quote for repair to the 2 treadmills. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, the motion carries to accept this quote for repair to the 2 treadmills, 4-0. Okay, item 4, which is item 6. Discussion decision, bid review for landscape, one-time property cleanup.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Obviously, an initial review of the property, all of you know that we have, our main entrances, the 48 acres out here, and the 22 foreclosed lots that are typically mowed and maintained. Me being here 3 weeks, the 2 maintenance guys who are now on the team have only been here for the same 2-week period of time. Because this is a personal preference of mine, I refuse to go under pressure and just hire people that I didn't feel were qualified. I'm still doing interview processes for those. But what we're having right now is too much of a load and a burden for them to be mowing all these things and maintaining some of these other issues that are coming up, like tiles in the bathroom, irrigation problems, the tennis courts being flooded, some other things. So I requested that we look at not a contract, but a one-time bid from landscape companies to clean up all of our entrances, this whole property and this entrance, and the 22 foreclosed lots to give the new maintenance staff a base to start over. Now, we're gonna go over the numbers for those, but because we haven't been staffed with a full maintenance staff, we are still within the realm of our budget to do this. So it's not, in essence, gonna be an overage in our budget at all. For me, it was just a consideration for all the people who are complaining about how bad everything looks, is for us to get fresh and get started at an even place.
I just want to say, if you hadn't fired everybody who knew anything about anything, we wouldn't be in this mix.
And I know that the thought there, I just want to say this is where we are now, so I'm just trying to get us back to a good working place and utilize what we do have and move forward with good people. I know there were probably good people here before, so I'm not going to dispute that.
Yes.
So we did get quotes. I'll go through them for you. We actually went out and asked for bids from 7 different companies. I had help with the bid process to get that many. We did have companies that came back and told us they did not want to bid, which is fine, because a lot of these companies want contracts, and we said we weren't going to do a contract. So Deep South Lawns quote was $1,155, and that is for all the things that I mentioned to you, all of the entrances, the 22 foreclosed lots, and this property out here, to include the entrances, to be one-time cleanup and to start over. Bowen's Lawn Care and Repair gave us a quote of $3,375. Same scope of work was given to all of the vendors that we went out to. Lawn Service came and gave us a bid. Their bid was $3,750. So obviously I read them in order to you, for least expensive to most expensive. $1,155, $33.75 and $37.50.
And they're all supposed to do the same exact thing?
Same exact thing. They were sent.
Cheapest is never the best.
Right. But same scope of work was given to all of them, yes.
So what's your recommendation?
Who will be evaluating if they did a good job?
Me. And everyone else.
What insurance requirements do you require them to carry?
If they do the job, they'll be just like a regular subcontractor. They'll have to provide their insurance, their general liability coverage, and the regular 1099 paperwork that they have
What
to have.
limits on the general liability and workers' comp?
Workers' comp, yes.
What are the limits that we established on that?
Well, the usual is the $1 million for the standard, but I would have to look to see for a one-time contract what it is. I would assume it's the same.
No exemptions.
If they do not do well, what's your,
No pay.
Yeah,
We were told the maintenance staff was gonna do it in-house.
are they agreeable to that?
they will be.
No, some people
That's where our cost savings is supposed to be.
Well, okay, do you think that two maintenance guys have the ability at this
No.
particular point in time to get it
No.
done in a timely manner where everyone's not?
No way.
So the one-time cleanup you're speaking to is specifically mowing and weed whacking. It's not like they're cleaning up garbage or things that are left behind. They're doing mowing and weed whacking.
No, they're not. They're doing mowing, edging, weeding of beds, redoing the beds with the pine straw. They're gonna be trimming bushes and the trees. So that's what they'll be doing.
Well, 1,100 is a low bid, that's an underbid, there's something wrong there. You need to be cautious.
I just got in what I got in. I'm reading you what I got. It's for the board to decide what company.
Have any of you guys ever used these companies at all?
I was gonna say, that's mother and boy, that's on.
Yeah, the only additional one I got was late, so that's why I didn't mention it.
I hope you all understand that a lot of this work was brought on by the previous company. For instance, cutting the lawns that aren't cut, that was not a Holly by the Sea function until about a year ago. And that was done to supposedly get the money from the bank, charge them to cut the lawns. I don't know if you follow through with that, I'm not sure. But that's really, it was supposed to be paying for itself, but if you think about it, if you're cutting the lawns over there, you can't be cutting the lawns here, so it's not working. You know, it won't work that way, it just physically can't work. The other thing is the entranceways. One of the entranceways by that Tom Thumb, the county's already told Holly by the Sea that if they didn't cut it, this was a year ago, if they didn't cut the bushes back and take care of that property, they were gonna come and clean it all down. And that, because it was a traffic hazard. People, I guess, coming out couldn't see, coming out of Tom Thumb, and complained to the county. So it's nothing new.
And just to speak to you, cleanup is quoted in this for the main entrances. So any trash, debris, and cleanup is quoted in the scope of work.
How long are they going to be given to finish the work once they're hired?
I've given them a week to complete it. I figure that's fair pending weather. You know, I don't know, it's probably just gonna be hot, but I think that's reasonable for what we have.
If you've got 21 properties, I mean, just an average for most lawn service people is $40 to $50 a cut. So $1,000, that's all he's getting. There's no way he's gonna do all.
He's doing $30 a lot. He came in at $30 per.
That is
I do
well
have a
below.
question. Are we still using the
Hey, I'm
podium?
talking.
And you're not at the podium.
Yes,
So you stand up at the podium and then you can talk, and that is my point. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's why I need to report on that.
Try to get back to business, okay? The actual cost for my house, it's a third of an acre, is roughly $40 to $60 a cut, depending on how much cutting and how much weeding. Weeding's usually extra. So cutting and edging is probably $40 to $60 per trip.
Okay.
So if you've got 20 some odd properties, you've got to figure it's at least $1,000 or more just to do those properties. And I don't see how anybody could do 43 more acres for that price. So I'm just saying you probably need to look at one of the bids that's in the $3,000 range.
Yes, this guy here.
So what do you recommend? What's his one? One that doesn't work? What is your recommendation?
I don't know, I mean, I just got these were regular bids, just like everything else, they're scoped the same way. So, maybe if I were gonna have to make a suggestion, go with the middle bid.
Can I have a motion?
I make a motion, we use Bowen's Lawn Care and Home Repair.
Do we have a second? Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Let's.
It's right here.
David Bowen.
No,
Here's that one.
no,
This one. Okay, it's motioned and seconded to take the bid from Bowen's Lawn Care, which was $3,375. Is there discussion? Yes?
Andrew Adams from 2600 Crestwood. I know it's really unpopular here, but why not go for a little bit? We're not talking about painting this place we're going to have to live with forever. We're talking about a cleanup in the last a week and a half anyway. I mean, my yard needs cutting every week. Whether they do a good job or not a good job, it's just a cleanup. I mean, that's just.
Larry Gamble, 1913, to Andrew, Candlewood Drive. Andrew, the dude underbid way too much. You could be a Richard Cranium and say, too bad the kid bid low, so let him suck it up and lose money. It's not fair to the guy. So.
Do you think that's what happened? If that's what
happened,
happened,
I think he did,
Please,
because you've got a disparity. You've got
Can this guy speak?
you got a $2,000 plus disparity between the low bid and the high bid. So, in all fairness to the contractor, this gentleman, the low guy may not have understood what he was bidding. So, if you want to rebid the three, make sure the guy understands the scope of work, and let them go back and give him a chance to reevaluate it and then revisit it. That's the fair thing to do.
thank you, Larry, you're right.
That's
sorry.
Yeah.
People walk off. Why not go to each one of these businesses and ask them for references?
Because for me, it's a lawn care cleanup. I know that I don't want to make it sound light, but the other thing is, to get a motion to get this cleanup done now, I have to wait for another month for you guys to approve to have it done. I was just suggesting a baseline.
You're right.
I wasn't trying to,
To the point of it being a one-time, when will there be enough staff hired in order to not have to do this again? Because as duly noted, you cut your grass in about a week and a half, and that's going to look pretty bad since it's rain and summer. So at what point will new staff be hired so we don't have to come back and do this again?
my last interview for the people that I have now, which is 4 additional. I have already completed 3 interviews for the maintenance. I have 4 left. My last one is Monday afternoon. So by midweek next week, I should have all my decisions made and start dates for them.
Okay, the motion on the table is to accept the bid for Bowen's Lawn Care. The one-time bid, $33.75. Those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, with the motion to accept Bowen's Lawn Care, $33.75, 4-0. Okay, this is number 5, which is now Number 7. Discussion and decision, quotes for mail-out ballots plus 3 flyers for information that will be valuable to members. I'm wondering whether we should discuss whether the flyers would be included first. Okay. So, Earl Dean had gone to the county meeting and had come back with 3 flyers about flooding. He sent them to me. I had a look at them. He told me first of all that the county had plenty of these flyers, and with all our flood problems, I thought it would be a good thing if they could be included. Then on further investigation, they did not have the flyers to give us. They didn't have 4,719 flyers. They had 1 set of flyers and we were supposed to print them out. So bearing that in mind, it looks like that is just really too much work, whereas you might have just, added that into the ballot. Now if you've got to print them as well.
Plus, I don't think we need that type of item in our ballot envelope.
I mean,
you want them to concentrate on choosing a candidate. You're going to have, I'm supposing that you're going to have, what do you call them, biographies of the, however many people are candidates. Then you're going to put that in there.
Right.
And it's like, don't get distracted.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, in the light of where it is now, I mean, I'm certainly not for it like I was in the beginning. We could put this out, we could send it out, we could put it out on the website, and we could actually wait until the county gets more handouts and get the handouts. I mean, it's a nice colored brochure, 3 nice colored brochures, and we could just leave them for people to pick up at the rec center and just separate it out.
Tell the county to mail them out.
Yeah, I mean, not make us do it. So, I think this is actually item 6, which is item 8. So this is discussion decision adding 3 flyers for information that will be valuable to membership in the ballot mail-outs. Okay, so do I have a motion, reject it, or?
I make a motion to reject putting the flyers into the ballot mail-outs.
I second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to reject the decision to add 3 flyers for information in the ballot mail-out. Discussion.
Yeah, I support that. Pete Peterson again. I support this decision on this optional colored brochure. However, related, and maybe it falls under the other item, are you intending to send out new policies that have been adopted by the board to all members with this mailing rather than do a separate mailing? This is based on my previous experience of attending at least 3 certified board trainings and discussion with at least 2 HOA lawyers, that it becomes problematic under state law to enforce policies unless you can demonstrate those policies have been communicated to all members. And so in past years, or at least recent past years, new policies adopted since last year, such as modified resident usage, and I can't remember, there's been a couple of others, that those are printed and included, so you can demonstrate they were sent out to all members without doing a separate mailing.
I'm going to defer that to the actual discussion of what's going in the mailing. Okay, so we have a motion to decline to add the 3 flyers in the 3 informational flyers from the county in with the ballot. Those in, let's see if I can make this positive. Those in favor of declining to add them.
Aye.
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 And you said that's number 8 we're doing right now?
Yeah, that's number 8. Okay, so the motion is passed to not add the 3 flyers, the 3 informational flyers to the ballot mail-out. 4-0. Okay, we now move backwards to number 7, what actually will be in the ballot mail-out. And quotes for the mail-out. Now, time is moving on. I don't want to be discussing it in a board meeting the night of the mail-out like we were last year, for those of people who might remember that. I think if on the 22nd we get the nominating committee's recommendation or their recommendation, we cut off the time to put in an application on the 15th. That gives them not a lot of time, but it gives them enough time to interview the candidates. And then we plan, getting my calendar out, we plan to send these ballots to the printers on the 25th, which gives them a week. So if you remember last year we all met here at the rec center. On the night the ballots were meant to be mailed out, and trying to get the language of the usage policy, and we didn't, and we had to send out 2 mailings at a very large cost. So we don't want to be doing that this year. So let's this year err on the side of caution and make those dates, if the board agrees, our fixed dates, so that we would have a special board meeting to discuss the nominating committee's recommendation on the 22nd. At that time, we would be able to mark each candidate, you know, if they, and decide on their order on the ballot. And then they can go to the printers on the 25th. And then that gives the printers a week, which, since you got the cost, is that enough? Do we need to back it up further?
Well, here's the only conflict I see. The only conflict I see is every company that we went to, it quoted in a different way based off of what they can handle. You see the very first one I put there was Office Depot, because they're a large company. I think that their bid quote was pretty fair, but they still note that they don't have stuffing services offered. So then you'd have to get an additional quote for that, unless that's something that we're going to do some labor cost on for someone to come in and stuff these.
Well, we can, then let's first of all discuss what is actually, what we're gonna pay for, what quote we're gonna take. Yeah, I noticed the first one is about $4,000 minus stuffing.
Yeah.
And the second one,
And mine is postage too?
No, that includes postage. So it's all of it. I say all of it. That's 7 pages stuffed. Now we don't know exactly how many pages, so they gave us a quote for what additional pages would cost. So they're $10 for each additional page. $10 cents for each additional page. Sorry. So
okay.
yeah, I saw your face and I went, oh Lord. So 10 cents for each additional page included on top of that, the 7 pages. And so this isn't really going to be something that you're going to be able to say this is what we're going to pay, because we don't know how many pages. You're going to be able to look at this and go, this vendor gives us the most services and had the most fair quote. We should have them bid out our final, I would think.
So let's clarify Office Depot.
Mm-hmm.
That is 7 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's both sides printed?
Yes. And this says, for the copies and folding, number 10 envelopes, black printed with the return address. Number 9 envelope ballots printed, stamped for ballot. Number 9 envelope return addresses printed. Postage, and for them to drop them off and pick them up. I mean, for us to drop them off and for them to deliver to us. So all of that is what is included. It says the only thing that's not included is no stuffing services offered.
How much are the stuffing services, did they say?
No, but I got a quote from this other guy who had to do it in 2 separate pieces. It is $25 an envelope to have it hand stuffed. And because you have pages, because you have 7 to however many pages. They don't make a machine unless we go to some big commercial company that folds these and puts it in the envelope.
See, now, we spent an awful lot of money last year because we had double mailers. How much,
Volunteers for hand stuffing?
how much, again, was it per extra
10
on the
cents.
first one?
10 cents in each additional page beyond 7 pages.
But they're still not gonna stuff them.
Right.
Okay.
But they will fold them, and they'll give you everything to stuff them.
What companies did you quote?
We have Office Depot, we have Speedy Print, and we have the Cast Data company that was used last year. I had them give us a requote so that we would have a minimum of 3. I called some of the other local companies, and they said they did not have the equipment to even quote us with that many pages.
Would it be less expensive to use an 8.5 by 11 envelope rather than the folding? It sounds like the folding is a major cost, and if you put it in an 8.5 by 11, you wouldn't have to fold. Just ask. I don't know if there's more postage on there. I don't think so.
It is by weight.
And size.
And size.
But you still gotta stuff them though, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to fold them.
You just stuff them like
Well,
that.
they're gonna fold them. They're just not stuffing them.
Even Cast Data doesn't stuff? Cast Data stuff.
They do. They had the highest quote.
Well, that's why, because they stuff.
Yeah, they're like, that's really expensive.
About 25 grand.
25,000. Yeah.
No, that was last year. They were up there at 6,600.
Is this single?
There were
single size
6,600, and last year was 25,000.
Well, they did double mail outs last year, and I don't know what else they included.
Well, that sounds like a bargain. 6,600.
So, wait a minute, oh, this is the invoice, this is not the quote.
That's because he told, see my note, he quoted me based off of that bulk number, that 4718 number that he sent out at 6602. And he didn't send me back anything additional. That's why I have my note that he has not gotten back with me with the additional charges as of yesterday. So that was what I had from him. Then you see Speedy Print, they told me that they could do all the same things that Office Depot could, except for they couldn't do address labels. They weren't gonna seal them or mail them. So I had to go with another company, Action Mailing, who is a vendor with them, to get a quote, and they did the $25 for the address labels, seal, and mailing portion.
So can you give me the bottom line again with the guys who did it last year?
Well,
I think that 25,000 was because we did 2 mailings.
Right, and
Yeah.
it wasn't done by Cast Data.
No, it was done by somewhere in Kansas or somewhere.
And Cast Data for 6,600 to do it is a good price. Because they do it all, you wouldn't have to touch it.
Well, the other bids are right around $4,000.
Well,
But then there's no stuffing.
or labeling, or sealing.
No, they're labeling, just no stuffing, everything else.
Well, then if they're not stuffing, they're not sealing. Are they taking it to the post office after?
Yes, they'll drop it off.
But it takes the whole thing out of the whole process. You can't do it, part of it, not the other. Because if they're not stuffing, what are you gonna do, run up there and stuff it for them at Office Depot?
Can I just ask a question? Last year, what did we do? Did we have the staff do it? The front desk?
No, last year they had it out of state, it was, I wanna say it was Kansas, but it was
Yes,
one of those occasions. It was
I remember
Kansas.
coming one time and they were stuffing the envelopes. Would it be an option if we went with Office Max and then even hire a girl on overtime, if you wanna call it, separately coming off of a different shift, just to come in and stuff envelopes?
I don't know if I would do an overtime, you could get a day laborer, admin.
Anyway, wouldn't it be a whole lot cheaper than $25 an envelope? You get,
But again, you know, can you meet the deadline? I mean, your critical thing,
oh, we plan for it.
can all of these meet, what is their timeline on doing it?
Yeah, they can do it in a week, but
They can do it in
they
a
can
week.
do what they've said they would do in a week. That leaves us with,
Stuffing.
The advantage of Cast Data also is that they're a mailing house. They will sort your data, they'll make sure it goes out the right way, they'll be responsible for it.
and we don't, he hasn't sent me the officials. That was his quote for me based off of last year's numbers. because he didn't meet the deadline, but I wanted to show what we had paid and what he had told me over the phone, just so that it would be known that we did go out for bids with him.
Okay, so this last one, this is invoice on it, that's Cascada?
Yes.
The K or C?
C. That means CAS certified.
And that one's 6,000 something?
66.
Where does it say that?
Right here, this is where he circled for me, 47 for the envelope, for the mail out, for the quantity, for the total, he has 6602.
Okay, that just says postage.
Yeah, but that's where the postage, that's his.
That's his total that he gave me.
So why does it say 25,000?
Because that was in your whole mail out last year. Yeah, this is what he wrote me back, because they had to come back with a quote. He had to come back with an official quote. He said, I will give you.
But they didn't do it last year.
They did do it last year.
They didn't.
They didn't do this mailing, they did a different mailing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but the ballots were sent out from Kansas. They weren't sent out from these people.
Right, so they quoted me for the number of mail outs that we have on all the other ballots, which they took off of this one that they mailed out. You see the number?
Okay. What are we gonna include in this mailing? Are we gonna include, let's see, we've got if according to Pete, we wanna include the usage policy. What other policies have we made?
Any cabins and whatever
The
that
canvas.
Well, that's very small though.
Well, they could be double-sided.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, it's gotta be double-sided. What other one? That's really
Well,
it.
then you have the bios of the candidates.
Okay,
Those could be
so we got
double-sided.
one double side for the policy.
Right.
Okay. And then we've got the bios
No,
of the candidates.
the usage policy is 2 pages.
Oh,
So
okay, that's right.
that already is double, so you can't double that one because your usage policy is already
Okay, so
double.
we got two pages so far. We've got, we did double-sided for the bios. And we did the ballot.
And there's an agenda.
And the agenda. We could do the agenda on the back of the policy. We've got another slide.
On the campaigning
On
policy.
the campaigning policy. So that's agenda. I mean, there might be about 7 or 8 pages.
Right, that's
We
what I
can't have
guess.
an odd
Yeah.
one.
Well, we'll have to have an odd number of candidates so that we have two,
Even.
one with the the one candidate and then one with the campaigning, whatever it was, campaigning cost.
Well, we're gonna put that on the back of the agenda for the special meeting.
All right.
So we got that one covered. We have an even number of candidates.
Well, wait. The special.
Two double side for the guest usage. One side for the, agenda, and the other side of that for the campaigning. That's 2 pages.
Okay, you said something about the special meeting. I don't, what's the connection?
You have to have the agenda for the special meeting. That's what's going on the other side.
Oh, you mean the July special meeting,
Yes,
annual meeting?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
You were talking about a special meeting on the 22nd, I'm saying, wait a
Well,
minute.
the special annual meeting, the annual meeting, I correct myself, okay, the annual meeting, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can plan that we're gonna stop it, I really don't. Do you agree?
I think that I went to retrieve this information for kind of a ballpark. I think that what we really need to do is figure out exactly how many pages. Let the 2 that you think should requote it, so I don't have to go out and find 3 or 5 more, because I've had a hard enough time doing that. And then when you get that final number, when we know how many bios that we'll have, then I can give them an accurate number, let them rebid this, and then you can, at that meeting, decide who you wanna go with.
So let's make one of them cast data. Did they quote for stuffing? They have no means of stuffing office.
Well, there are other companies that stuff, they just didn't quote me because they don't do that in-house.
Okay.
What was wrong with the gentleman's suggestion that we use our own staff?
Takes
Plan.
too long.
Because I don't think we should pay
No,
overtime.
it's gonna take, it'll take a long time.
Okay.
It's 4,700 and that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, and you have a timeline that you absolutely must do.
I mean, that's
Just a thought.
you know,
What about
2,000.
offering it up to an organization like a ball team that has 25 people, pay them $500 and just have them come in here and just do it all at once? There's not a lot of skill involved, but maybe something to help out the community, and if you spread the work out that much, it'll go really fast.
With visitor passes, guest passes? And what if they mess up? What if we get people get 2 ballots and 1 envelope, or?
Another annual election. That happens now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's too important to mail it.
I didn't want to get caught this. That happens now, so what's the difference?
I didn't say it happened now. I haven't seen it happen.
So I did, like I said.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I've gotten, 2 ballots and 1 envelope.
So what does that have to do with anything?
Well, I'm saying people make mistakes.
Yeah,
I think he's got a great idea, because these ones from Office Depot are already gonna be folded. They're already gonna be folded, so all they have to do is come in and just
Sure.
stuff the envelope.
I agree, you get Boy Scouts can do it as a civic thing.
Just somebody, an organization come in and
Boy Scout, you can Boy Scouts do it, you can have, I think the Navarre Press at one time used the, senior citizens. There's all kinds of organizations.
yeah, even our own, even the swim team.
Yes, yeah, so there's lots of people, you just have to ask them.
Or a band, there's like a zillion of them.
Kids that need their break features.
Well, does anybody have, maybe we could discuss this at the special meeting we're gonna have to have on the 22nd, because on that date, we will know exactly how many pages we've got.
But I'll have to know what if you wanna do this, and this part of it will have to be orchestrated if we've only got a week
Oh,
time.
yeah, that's exactly right. Well, make one of them cast data. Does anybody have a suggestion for the other? And if somebody's suggesting getting kids in to do it, then we have to know who is gonna organize that, or who knows kids, or what.
The senior center has a nice facility. You could take it there, and the senior citizens they need to pay their light bills down there at the senior center. So.
But they might be slow doing
Seriously?
No, they're not.
I mean, there's a lot of calls.
They label Navarre Press every week, and they're not slow.
Okay.
Well, there should be a lot of them.
I'm gonna tell them what you said.
I'm sure you will. Well, let's do the first one, Office Depot, and the last one. Yeah? Then let's make a motion. Does somebody wanna make a motion that these are the ones that we will get a further quote?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we get a further quote from Office Depot and Fast Data.
A second.
Okay, it's motioned and seconded to get a further quote from Office Depot and Cast Data. Those in favor?
And also find someone to help stuff them if we decide to go with Office Depot.
Let's vote on this first one, because it's on the table. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, so April, the Office Depot and Cast Data, further quotes. Who could contact the senior center? You wanna contact the senior?
I'll do it.
Are we giving up on children, or just we're gonna go with the senior?
No, I think we need to ask. We can ask we can ask the swim team. We can ask the swim team, and if anybody knows of a local Boy Scout.
You can do the RTC at the high school.
The what? Oh, that's a perfect idea. Yeah.
Band at the high school, they have fundraisers.
So would you do it in this build, like right here?
Yeah. Yeah, we could just make them an area and they could do it here. I mean, you want a big area so they can spread out.
How about the beach house? Or even the special operations.
Well, let's.
I mean, you've got lots of options out there.
Yeah, let's bring
But we
some.
need to contact these
Yeah.
guys, and when are they gonna be stuffed? That's, cause if we're gonna contact these.
Well, they're gonna be printed starting on that Monday.
They're not gonna be printed on it, they're gonna go to print
They're
on the
gonna go to
25th.
print, yes, they're gonna go to print. I mean, maybe they could go to print on the Saturday. So that will be a thing, could they go on the Saturday? Cause after that meeting, they're ready to go.
Find it. So if they go to print.
So if people who know of an organization that would do it, if they could contact April so we can make a decision. So it's gonna be in that week of May. It's gonna be in the week
Well,
that
it'll
will
probably-
end in Memorial Day.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
probably be like June 1st before they can start stuff.
Oh,
No.
No.
But if it doesn't go until the 25th and it takes a week, that's June 1st.
It takes a week to print it?
Yeah, that's what
It
she.
shouldn't take a week to print.
I don't think it'll take a week to print. But you'll check, yeah. Yeah, no, we cannot be waiting down to the first. We can't wait till then.
Then you need to get them to the printers then, cause they said that it would take 7 days to get them.
5 to 7 days depending on the number in the envelope.
Okay,
5 to
then
7
we need
days.
to ask if they can, start on the Saturday.
Okay.
They could print, whoever's gonna do it could do the envelopes already. I mean, that's not gonna change. They could have that already done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this has to go on our next meeting.
But we need a time frame for, if we're gonna ask these organizations to come in, if we choose Office Depot to do this, we need to get a hold of the organizations now and see if it's something they can do, and then we'll just let them know that we'll get back in contact with them if this is the way we choose to go, but we need a date for them to be able to come in and stuff them. I mean, you just can't go out to these organizations, to me, and say, well, we need to have you come stuff them, but we don't know what day you need them. We need them.
I mean, it's probably gonna be the Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
Memorial Day weekend?
I mean, what is our choice? What is our choice?
When do they have to be in the mail?
I think the second.
Well, you're having a special meeting on the 22nd, right?
Yeah.
Could we not decide then?
Yeah, we could, because we know how many things they've got to print.
But if we're gonna go out and ask the organizations now, we need a date.
Well, I think it's gotta be in that time frame, though, you know, I mean, maybe the 28th, 29th, 30th, that's the time frame.
I can figure all that out and see.
You just let me know
You
before we go
can't
out to
say
the
you're gonna
organization.
start on Monday the 1st with any hope that it'll be done. Just cannot.
Well, I know, but if we go with Office Depot, and it takes them 5 to 7 days, even if they start them on the 23rd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're not gonna have them until the 29th. And then we're gonna have,
Well, if
if we're
they
gonna
start
ask
them
these
on
org-
okay, if they can start them on Saturday, it means they work on Saturday, doesn't it?
But if we're gonna go out and ask these organizations, we kinda need to give them
Well, we can't give them a firm date, we can give them.
a timeline. We need a timeline.
Okay, they have to be done so they can get in the mail on Monday the 1st. So therefore, you're left with those days. They must go in the mail on, well, is Monday the 1st Memorial
Yes.
Day?
Monday.
No.
Memorial Day.
When is
That's
Memorial Day?
25th of May.
The
Okay,
25th.
Okay, Okay, so it's not Memorial Day then? Right, but they must go in the mail on the 1st. Yeah, 1st is a Monday.
Have you looked at, if you're gonna put 6 or 7 things, postage may double. In other words, once you exceed 1 ounce, they double it.
Well, that's right, but I mean, however many candidates, we gotta do it. I think we're only adding really for the policies 1.5 pages. We gotta do the agenda on the other half. So we're not adding anything excessive, but I mean, the candidates will be what the candidates are.
Can you limit their bios?
What?
You can to 1 page.
1 page per each? That's a lot of bio.
I mean, that's what we had last year, we had 10. But I think the cost of it last year was about, I think it was more than 30 grand last year. Because I remember on the financial statement afterwards, it was a lot of money by the time we did.
But it was 2 mailings.
I know we did 2 mailings, you're right. But I mean, it was, that's why we don't wanna do something like that this year.
Yeah.
So we wanna get ahead of it. You know, we don't wanna be on the last day like we were last year, because there was no way we could have met the deadline.
Why don't you hire the company that does it all?
Yeah, I
You
think
don't worry
the
about
women
that.
are complicated, it's like just get cascaded and
It's
do it.
gonna cost, it's gonna cost, but.
Yeah. Okay, we'll make this decision on the 22nd. If anybody, can contact these organizations and they seem like they're willing and fast, we'll consider it, but we'll make the decision. What I don't wanna do is just get backed up into the wall and we can't make the deadline.
Alright, I'll get, as a matter of fact, my husband's speaking over there tomorrow, so I'll have him hold of the ROTC and have him go to the band people.
Okay.
But you can't just say, we need you. You need to tell them how many people you're gonna need and what price you're gonna pay them. You just don't, like, leave it open like that.
Right, but we know there's 4,719 envelopes to stuff. And they may have an idea for how long that's gonna take them, so how many people. I mean, I don't know how long that would take, sometimes.
Long time. It was done in-house when you had 5 to 7 staff members working on it, it took 3 days.
Then maybe that's
Just
not, maybe.
to label and stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's just not a good idea, maybe we should.
They're being paid by the hour,
an
so
hour.
They kept busy, and some of them had volunteers helping with them too. For just background planning, I believe the first mailing last year had something like 15 pages in it, because it was all the bios, the other stuff, couple of new policies,
It
plus,
had the covenant.
and then
Yeah,
the
it had
covenant
all the
amendments.
covenant thing, it had a lot of pages.
It did.
And then the next one
And
that
generally
went
for
out.
planning, 20-pound paper and an envelope, if you get any more than 4 pages of 20-pound paper and envelope, you're over 1 ounce.
Right.
So you gotta pay the extra 20 cents an ounce after that. I believe it's 20 cents for the second.
It is, and it changes, you're right, when you get to 9 pages is when it goes up above the 2 ounces.
Well, it's,
That's what
Yeah,
they quoted, yeah.
yeah. 4 sheets of paper, double-sided.
Oh, double sided.
Yeah, so 4 sheets of paper, 4
It's
sheets of
gonna be
20-pound
more,
paper
yeah.
and an envelope, you're at 1 ounce.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, we've got no covenant thing this time, so.
I think we should just go with the company that does it all. Is it too late to say that?
No,
Well,
I think we need to get,
We've still got till the 22nd,
Yeah,
we've
I think-
actually got, we can't go back to them without saying
yeah,
how
we
many
need
pages.
a hard quote from
Right.
Cascade, and we don't have a hard quote
Yeah,
yet.
we're gonna have to go back and say, you know, it's this many.
So I think we still need to stick to
I
that
mean, we
original,
probably
we're
just
just
have
gonna-
this special meeting early, so there's still time in the working day. I mean, there's no need to have this special meeting late.
Late in the day.
In the day, yeah, we could have it in the day, and then, you know, there's still time of that day to get a quote. And if they know they're in there, they're gonna be able to turn it around on the numbers, if the only variable is how many pages. So if we had the meeting early, then, you know, you still got Friday afternoon.
Oh, to me, it's balance, it's just too important. I just see what the company doing.
Well,
But we don't have a hard quote from them.
yeah, we still gotta get that after the 22nd, but we could get it on the 22nd.
Well, she could get that tomorrow.
Well, we don't know how many pages.
Give him a
He
what
hasn't
if.
gotten back to her.
Well, yeah, I know. I just need him to get back to me. He told me that he was out of town on vacation, his family had issues, that he would try to get back to me today, and he didn't. So I don't know if that'll be tomorrow or the next day. So he gave me that verbal based off of last year's over the phone. So it's not a hard quote on paper, which we do need.
So we'll still get the 2 quotes for Office Depot and Cascade.
Right. And we'll decide that on
And
the
then we can
20th.
make a
Yeah, we'll
decision.
decide that on the 22nd. Okay. Moving on. The CPA firm, for counting the ballots. Same as last year?
Might as well change that, or change everything else.
Yeah, that was Carr and.
Car rigs and Ingram.
Yeah. Can we have a motion?
And Ingram?
Yeah, CPA.
I make a motion, we use the same CPR firm we used last year, Carr, Riggs, and,
CPA.
Carr, Riggs, and Ingram.
A second one.
Okay, the motion is to use the same firm as last year. The CPA firm for counting the ballots. Those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
That's
Okay.
our normal CPA anyway.
Yeah, yeah, but we.
Time out.
Right.
Car Rigs and Ingram is not the one that counted ballots the last several years.
Who was it?
I'm trying to remember the
Yeah, I
name,
think
but
it
it's not,
was.
Car Rigs and Ingram is our annual audit firm.
Yeah.
No, it was, oh, doggone it, I should remember it.
He's out of,
It's not, the ones that's used to counting the ballots is not Car Rigs and Ingram. It's over in Pensacola.
I think it starts with a C. I'll find
I
it.
want to say
I
it's.
might have it on, something at home. I might have it on something at home, yeah.
And it should be significantly less expensive this year than last year because they don't have to tally the votes for amendments. They only have to tally
Right,
the
okay.
votes for the board elections.
Okay, well, I
Which is less counting.
actually, I believe what I said was the same CPA firm as last year.
Yeah, but somebody said Car Rigs and Ingram.
I
I
did.
don't believe it is.
Mm-mm.
It's somebody else.
Okay, well, we're gonna use the same as last year.
I will amend the motion to use the same firm as last year.
A second amendment.
Leave the name out.
Okay. Those in favor to use the same firm as last year, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, same firm as last year. Now, Pete, finally get to you.
Okay, 1972 Indigo.
Jan, did you say?
And again. India.
This for fence variance for an 8-foot setback instead of the required 10-foot setback. This is to cover the sprinkler pump that they have, so they just want to block that from site. The recommendation of the ACC was to approve.
So we make a motion and then discuss one.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we approve the exterior home improvement application with fence variance. Fence is to have an 8-foot front side setback at 1972 Indigo Drive.
A second.
Okay, it is motion and seconded to approve the exterior home improvement application with fence variance. Fence to have an 8-foot front side setback, 1972 Indigo Drive. Is there discussion? No? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, this is, the motion to approve the variance is passed. If Pete will give me the one, is it this one?
I do, you could sign it. I just have a couple of questions, and possibly you guys could answer it. The ACC, how do we plan on bringing properties that are in foreclosure or central legal to the actual lawyer. Right now, we have 5 properties that need to go to Crew and Crew. They're probably about 3/4 of an inch thick. What is,
Were they voted on?
yes.
So you're just waiting?
Right now, they're sitting on a desk somewhere, waiting to go to legal.
No, they've been sent to legal. We're waiting on an answer from Crew and Crew.
They're busy.
So these
Actually,
are
I don't know, I talked to Shelby this morning, and she made
I
it
sent
sound.
them myself.
Oh, you did it yourself?
Yes.
Okay, and how about the 4 from Michelle Anchors? She has that, there was 4 that, yeah, there
I
was,
think she passed those on, but we could, do you know where they are?
I don't have the 4 from Michelle Anchors. I do have the 5, if you wanna look at that, I do have the 5 that we.
That was the one with the mailbox, right? Or the one with the
6528
broken
Burn
window?
Street, that was, needs sod.
The one with the broken window?
Yeah, that was the one last time.
Okay.
Actually, no, those aren't the ones I have.
Well, the one with the broken window is the
That was Holiday Court.
Yeah, that we
Holiday Court.
voted on
Yeah.
to go to legal. Is that the group you're talking about?
That's not the group I have.
So what group are you talking about?
Previous.
Previous to that?
Yes, it was in January, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, are those the ones you're for?
Are these the ones
These might be
you said?
different.
I resent ones that were sent from February that hadn't been responded to yet, and March, yes,
So you sent those in already?
yes. I sent those in last Tuesday for them to look at again.
So, so then what do you want Shelby to do with the information? After the board says send it to legal, what's the step for her to do it? Would you bring it to your office? How do you wanna deal with that?
I'm not sure exactly how it was done, how it was done
I'm
before.
not sure either.
Yeah, the general manager would send them to legal.
Okay, so
So
I guess we'll have to get to a Shelby. It's probably too much to fax. I'm not really sure what you even need, how much information needs to go, or do we make copies and mail it? I don't know.
Well, we need to check and make sure that the ones from Michelle Anchors were passed on. My understanding was they were passed on, but that might.
Pass on to who though? I think to Crew and Crew,
Yeah,
so Michelle Anchor sent them.
that's my
Okay.
understanding.
All right, so maybe we should make
But we should check.
Crew and Crew. Somebody should contact Crew and Crew to make sure they have them.
Why don't you supply a list of the properties?
I could do
We'll see
that.
what
With the
they-
4 from Michelle Anchors, I could get a list to
Right.
April,
We'll
and
see
April
what
to
they've
check
got,
on it.
what they have.
Okay, I could do that.
Do we have a deadline for response from them on these things, standard turnaround?
6 years.
Not really.
No? Okay.
No, I think Crew and Crew had some. They've had some.
And just another thing, if we're talking, we still haven't gotten an answer yet on model home policy.
I know, and I asked them again.
Okay. And the other one too, right, the,
And I asked them
multi-family
again
home.
about that one too.
Okay.
Can I have, is it this, or have you got it? No, I just need this to sign.
And just update everybody on violations. Right now, TOPS is still not in effect yet for the ACC. So we're still waiting. All violations that came in ever since FSR left, really, there's only a handful that actually went out, maybe 5 or 6. So all the complaints that are coming in, they're just being tallied up and Shelby's ready to go, but she hasn't been trained yet. They're saying keep on getting pushed back, or hopefully, I think they're saying another week and a half before we even start the process, and there's gonna be a lag in that before they get up and rolling. So just want everybody to realize that, okay? So
How much paperwork do you have to go over?
it depends on the file. She said some of the files are 3/4 of an inch thick, but I don't know how to send them.
We can scan them in instead of having to make copies. I can
Is
scan
that
them.
easier? I just don't know the process. We want to have a process of, so next time we don't ask, we just immediately do
Right,
it.
because there was a lot that were left over.
Right.
But my understanding was that she did pass them on, but we need to change that.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, so I'll get you a list. I'll have Shelby give you the list tomorrow morning.
the last meeting, I brought up the fact that across the street, you don't have a silt fence up and debris going in the right of way. And tonight you mentioned that the county had a little thing about flood control. And in that little thing about flood control, they're proposing that you don't cut any brush, unless you have to retain some of the water. But it was very interesting when I did read part of that report, is that the silt fence isn't just a nice thing that they should do to protect it. It is a county requirement. It's a county code. So I'd like to know why we're worried about things when we ignore county codes. I thought county codes were pretty important to everybody. I thought it's like you're supposed to follow them. And I'm not sure who's responsible, whether it's the architectural not enforcing it, the board not enforcing it, but it is a county code. And so you can't ignore county codes. I mean, you can, but there has to be some type of retribution when you don't follow a county code. And I'm not quite sure where that retribution would fall, but it is a county code.
Just what I know about the silt fences, it is a county code, and what happens is I believe they can't even get their inspection until the silt fence is up. So the county does come out and inspect that. To my knowledge, I don't think we've ever had anything in writing about the silt fences ourselves in the ACC. But it is definitely a county code that I know, talking to the builders that we have, one of the committee members is on, he says he cannot get the actual inspection until the silt fence is up.
So the county.
County does.
It's supposed, the silt fence is supposed to be up before they start construction, not after.
That's true. It's up. That's one of the first things before they come in and do it. That's the first
I'm
thing.
saying, across the street, there has been no silt fence, and it's almost completed. And that's not the only property. That's not my job. I don't want, sorry. I'm not in architectural, and I don't work in architectural. I just make you all aware.
And in passing, county code is supposed to be enforced by county code department, but they may need to be reminded or violations brought to their attention, though we can certainly help facilitate that by reminding construction contractors, and if we notice they don't have it, we can say, if you don't put it up, we'll report you to the county.
I absolutely agree. I just want to say again, though, we're so far behind, a month and a half actually since FSR left with violations, the process to call, it takes time. Obviously, we're in the situation we are with the cops, and as soon as cops comes in, it should go out instantaneously. Once we have those form letters in, we'll be able to contact. We only have one girl plus, I think it's twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week.
No,
Now we have Carrie. Carrie's been.
She comes in.
She hasn't been here this week because she's got a back problem. I shouldn't say with her. She's been out sick.
Okay, but she now is full.
In the architectural?
No, she's not full-time, but
That's what I mean,
if you
so-
need I'm sure you can work something out.
As soon as I get that weekend position, I think I'm gonna let her be in the full-time now.
Okay.
If you like, I'll call the county. How's that? Then you want to do it, and I'll call the county for you. How's that?
You on the ACC committee?
Well, that's what I said. If they can't do the job, I can pick up a phone. I know how to work one.
Why don't you insult him some more?
Pardon me?
It's very insulting.
I can't hear you up.
You are very insulting to people.
Ma'am, please.
Maybe you are, but I'm saying I'll call them. I'll do it.
Order.
Shanko, what is his position?
He's the chair of the ACC.
He is the chair of the ACC. Is the chair's responsibility to enforce county code?
I don't believe so.
No, so it is not his responsibility to enforce county code. Is it the architectural staff's responsibility to enforce county code?
I think the county should enforce the county.
So it's not the architectural staff's job to enforce county code?
My understanding it is the county's.
And is the architectural staff is to include Pete Washenko, is he, an architectural staff, are they required to know every single county code in order to work there? An architectural committee or
I'm
architectural
sure they
staff?
don't know every single one.
Is there county code training so that they are aware of any county code violation?
I think they could listen to a comment, and I think that was what he was doing, giving a
Well,
comment.
he wasn't commenting to the architectural staff, he was commenting to Pete Wachenko, who is a volunteer on the committee.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe some training could take place so that they're more aware.
Unless they changed, I believe, Pete, is it in the, isn't it in your, building plan or your building, what do they call it? You know when somebody builds a building permit? Isn't that fence in that building permit? Used to be. Pardon me?
I don't require that they check for that now, but I can double check for you.
Well, I thought it used to be in there, that's why I brought that up.
Okay, we need to,
What about open forum?
well,
Isn't that what that was?
yeah, I mean, that was kind of what that was.
No, that was
We-
his open forum.
Excuse me, please.
That was his
Will you
open forum.
Please wait until you're at the podium. We are not running these meetings past 8:45 for the staff. The staff need to go home. I mean, the meetings drag on, I'm afraid they do drag on.
Because
We
we talk
only
about
had one-
t-shirts.
Ma'am, if you want to interrupt the meeting, we will just stop and wait until you're quiet.
Because that's how you do business.
If you wish to make personal attacks, please don't do that. Okay, does anybody have anything, because we've got 2 more minutes before we need to stop and,
I do have one thing. I'll let you finish, so I didn't mean to interrupt. I would like to know what the status is of the filing with the DPDR for the recall effort. I think the organization has a right to know what the status is, what has the board done, and what have they done in response to the recall. I know that you denied it, but there's also a process that has to be followed. What is the status of that process?
the status of the process, it is in process of being filed. We do know what the process is, and it is underway.
Hi, Patricia Hogue, 2792 Camden. I'm inquiring about mowing the easements. The county gets involved in mowing unimproved properties. They're not being mowed. Are they being mowed somewhere else? Who calls?
I think you were referring to the properties that.
Not foreclosures.
No, she's talking about the.
Sherwood is full of unimproved properties, and it's 2 feet tall.
The right of way.
The right of ways of all the lots, empty lots.
Do you
That's what
call
she's talking about.
and inquire?
I'm not sure who is responsible.
We had a call last week, and they sent us a document, ticket number when we make a phone call, to know that we called in about it.
Okay, thank you.
And I was just looking for an update on where are we at for the front flat roof leaks? Is that resolved or?
Well, what actually it was, we had a spectacular buildup of roots and earth and whatever in the drains. So it was the drain, which came only about 5 foot from the building. And because it was just completely clogged with roots and things, we had it in the front so people could see it. They cut it, the water was backing up from the drain.
All the
'cause
way
it
to the
couldn't-
roof.
Yeah, because it couldn't. So, the tiles have been replaced, but Rhonda said she could still smell some mildew there, so I asked her to tell you, maybe take the tiles down for a little bit longer to make sure that airs out. what we actually did, we got the plumber after he cut the pipe to make 2 French drains about 30 foot, 35 foot out from the building, so that we can carry the water away from the foundation. This is very near the foundation. You can see that some of the bushes have collapsed down. But that's the repair's been done. We're just making sure that the roof itself is dried out. Pete? Okay, I think it's gonna have to be the last one.
Lisa Fay, Fenwick Street. So where are we with Mr. Crouch's plan with our savings? Where are we? Because I'm looking for the sheriff cost. How much was the pool dome compared to last year? Are we up to par with the lifeguards? The maintenance money now that's gonna come out for the $3,000. Now we've got t-shirts. We had to pay for a one-time cleaning fee. How much in lawyer fees have we paid? We've seen no figures come out of your presidency, nothing. So I think everyone would really like to know where we're at, what we've saved. If you were touting, that's why we went through all of this garbage.
I mean, I can't answer all of the ones. Mr. Crouch is not here tonight. I can tell you the dome was the cost of labor, which it was last year.
What's the dollar figure?
It was $1,823.
And that was the same exact cost as last year?
No, they had to pull, I haven't gotten the comparison. We did a records request a couple weeks ago and they asked for some of this information. That's the reason why I know that figure off the top of my head. So
How
I would
much
have
did
to.
the sheriff cost? The unnecessary sheriff, how much did that cost?
Again, I don't have those figures on that.
I mean, I'm sure you signed the check though. Are we up to par with the lifeguard staff?
We are.
We are.
How many do we have?
7.
Okay.
That's a mix of full and part-time.
Okay. And how about the inventory list that you did? That would be nice to have that published the weekend that you closed the facility to do inventory. It would be nice to know what you inventoried. I think we have the right to know what we have. It's all of our equipment, it's all of our things.
We could publish that list. Yeah, it's not that. Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second? Those in favor? Aye. 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 Okay, if anybody would be prepared to help move the chairs, we would most appreciate it.